Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight and tell me what the heck happened to Wave 2.
It's morphin' time!
Thundercats are on the move. Thundercats are loose.
Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to my review of Super7 Ultimate's Thundercats Wave 3. Yeah, you're probably wondering what happened to Wave 2. Well, for a little context, with the Super7 Ultimates line, Super7 did something neat. So with Wave 1 being entirely redos of the Mattel figures, they said, hey, let's keep the line going at the Mattel factory, so that way there's consistency with the new figures. Unfortunately, that was a mistake because the Mattel factory also produces things like Jurassic World. And Mattel, being about 100,000 times the size of Super7, they kept getting pushed into the queue, and Super7's production on Wave 2 kept getting pushed back and back and back because this factory was going to keep producing for Mattel because they were their top client. So yeah, Wave 1 dropped in September 2020, and Wave 3 dropped in September 2021. Because of the delays with Wave 2, Super7 pulled Wave 3 from that factory and moved it to their normal one that was producing the Ninja Turtles Ultimates as well as Reaction and all that, and things have been getting more on track, slowly. Wave 2 did eventually come out in April of 2022, but we're going to be looking at Wave 3 today because I thought let's look at them in release order, even if the numbers are all screwed up. I don't know what else to do. But that being said, Wave 3 is entirely new, but giant asterisks because the Super7 Ultimates line has been great for Thundercats because the perseverance of the people making it. Because they are fans of this and they want these figures to be great. Which is also why Cheetara got delayed. So this wave was supposed to be 4 figures, the 4th one being Cheetara, but when Super7 received the actual items from the factory, it turns out that the correction that Super7 had made to the hips of the figure to make her look the best that she possibly could didn't happen. So all of the Cheetaras were sent back to the factory to be remade, and they're being worked on now and hopefully will be shipping in the summer. So we're just going to push forward. We're going to look at Slithe, we're going to look at Captain Cracker, and we're going to look at Jaga. We will look at Cheetara whenever Cheetara ships. I hope it's sooner than later, but I also want the figure to be good because Super7 knows they got one shot at this. And I appreciate the fact that they got the figures in, looked at them and went, oh, yeah, that's not how it's supposed to look. Sent it back to get it redone. That cost them extra money, but it saved them in a lot of reputation, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart that they actually went through to make sure the figure was as good as it could be. And on that note, let's look at Wave 3 and see some new things in this line, which me, since I collected from the 2016 Mattel line onward, really needed something new. Alright, so we're going to start with Jaga. Now, Jaga was one of the figures that was proposed for the Mattel line and had a prototype. This figure is packed like the others, but it's nice to finally get him because he was sort of in that initial promise. But on the back, you can see beautiful packaging art. So compared to Wave 1, which had just the same art for everybody, we've got unique artwork, and I like that. It just adds individuality to the packaging. Long ago, Jaga served Cloudus, original Lord of the Thundercats. Charged with guarding the treasures of Thundera, he became a mentor to Cloudus' son, Lynx-O. During Thundera's destruction, Jaga led the exodus of refugees. He later sacrificed himself to pilot their flagship safely to the distant world of Third Earth, yet his spirit continued to guide a now adult Lynx-O reaching out from the spirit realm in times of great need. In times of great need meant several times throughout the series, so despite him being the mentor who dies in episode 1, he's around quite a bit, and there's a lot of flashback episodes featuring the character, so very nice to see a Jaga figure in the line. Let's take a look. So here is Wise Mentor Jaga. Now, like I said, he does have some changes from the Mattel prototype that we once saw. For example, he has pinless elbows and knees. And what I mean by pinless is that with Lynx-O here, you can see the sockets where the joint was plugged together, whereas here it's covered up. And I believe this is the change going from Wave 3 onward. And that's actually pretty exciting because it makes the figures look better. Does make Wave 1 stand out a little bit, but, you know, what can you do? So with Jaga here, he looks really nice. It's nice to finally... This is the first new figure that I'd gotten for Thundercats in like, gosh, it was like 5-6 years worth. But anyways, the idea is he is brand new. Nice head sculpt. This is one of his heads. We'll look at the others in a bit. Thundercats logo, his banana hammock. I don't know. Thundercats clothing is weird. All right, I'm not gonna lie, but very nicely painted details all around. I like the two-tone hands. The other part that's really nice is that the hands are stiffer. So with Lynx-O, or let me get Panthro here. Panthro's open hands were like Mattel's, where they're all rubbery. So you can see there's a lot of flex to it, which also means the fingers could get easily bent in package. Whereas with these, they are not bendy, they are stiffer. So this is the first wave that was in the change in factory from Mattel's factory to the Super 7 standard factory. And this just feels better. Like, remember how we had Lynx-O's loose shoulder? Not the case here. Very tight joints all around. Same articulation as Lynx-O. I guess I'll just run through it. I mean, it's pretty much everything you'd expect. You know, even the clothing doesn't interact with the torso. You know, all kinds of stuff here. Great things. It even has like a slight knee swivel now, which didn't exist before. So that's pretty cool. So it's definitely an upgrade. The quality feels better. I mean, Wave 3 in general just feels super solid, whereas Wave 1 was a little finicky. But very nice overall. So he does have, of course, a bunch of accessories, and we're going to run through them like we usually do with quick editing and cuts. So for the hand lineup, it's a little different. We have open hands, we have tighter fists, and then we have tighter hands that instead of having a left and right, it has an up and down wrist joint. So Jaga does come with these Sword of Omens in both its long form and its collapsed form, and this is because he wielded it in the past, as well as just having it to give to Lynx-O, so it's pretty cool. The LJN toy also came with the Sword of Omens. What's interesting is this is a slight tweak on the Lynx-O version. So if you see the two of them here, Lynx-O's has some, you know, more plasticky color, while Jaga's has more of a gunmetal. And Jaga's has the corrected logo with all the extra depth and detail to it. So if you want, you can swap Jaga's Sword of Omens over to Lynx-O, which is usually what I have done, and that is pretty cool. So it's a nice little upgrade to Lynx-O, as well as being a nice accessory for Jaga. Speaking of nice accessories, exclusive to Jaga is the magical cloth that he had. So in the pilot episode of Thundercats, he gives the Thundercats their clothing and gear. Yes, clothing. Yes, it was weird. The 80s were a different time. It's still weird. But anyways, he does have this magical cloth that looks like what he had, and he just basically would take part of this and throw it at somebody, and it's like, boom, there you go. Now you have all your accessories. So pretty cool. I like that it is molded into a hand, so you don't have to mess around with it. You just peg it in. It's good to go. Now, Jaga has multiple heads. This first one is his old man head from the earlier episodes, and then his later, like, Force Ghost appearance. This first alternate head is a younger look. I know it doesn't look that different, but I mean, they did change his, you know, his eyes are a little different and his beard's different. And it is for the flashbacks with Groon, and Groon has accessories to make him flashback version, so pretty cool, and yeah, it pairs with the Sword of Omens nicely. And then we have an unhelmeted head, which is basically Jaga when he's dying, which is sad. Now, his last accessory is his cape. So as you can see, we've had the cloth cape with the wire, similar to Mumm-Ra's cape from Wave 1. And as you can see, it looks really nice. I like how dynamic it can be. But just in case you don't like that, you can remove the cape. It pegs in to the weird torso thing. So you can pull this off. I was trying to see if you could do it without taking the head off. You got to take the head off. Okay, so the head's a little tight, but we're just gonna, boop. All right, there you go. So there's Jaga without the cape. But you can take the cloth cape off, and they did include a plastic one for those that want it. And I think that's nice. I like the options. You know, it's like character with cape. We're just going to put that like that because I'm swapping him back to the cloth one. But if you want to know what he looks like with the plastic cape, there you go. This will be the case, I think, for the rest of the line. Like, if there is a chance to do a plastic cape, they will. So that way it satisfies all the collector needs for everyone out there. So Jaga makes a nice companion to Lynx-O in the overall display. While not the most exciting action figure, he is an important character of the mythology, and I'm glad he was included in this line, especially this early on. Alright, so next up we have Captain Cracker. Now, Captain Cracker is a villain, which is why he gets the Mumm-Ra logo. Even though he doesn't really work for Mumm-Ra, he's like a pirate. I mean, look at this dude. He is so piratey. Yeah, Captain Cracker did have a toy in the vintage line. He only appeared in 3 episodes, so it's pretty cool he's in Ultimates. On the back, very nice artwork of Captain Cracker, as well as a bio. Captain Cracker is a villainous robotic pirate who sails the galaxy in his spacefaring vessel, the Jolly Rogers. Along with his talking robot parrot, Polly, Captain Cracker searches for unwary victims to plunder. A notorious and crafty criminal, he later joined forces with the evil Lunatics. Despite having only one leg, he is a ruthless combatant who prefers to strike at foes with his deadly, razor-sharp cutlass. So pretty cool artwork overall. I love it. I love the description. So here's Captain Cracker. Absolutely the most surprising reveal when they revealed him, and I was excited for him ever since. This figure's great. It's such a weird oddball character. He's like a cyborg robot pirate, and it just works. It's a great like toy design, and I love that he's got such a great figure. The LJN figure was pretty good too from what I've seen. I don't actually own it, but it is really nice to get this more cartoon accurate one, and he has a unique mold for the line, which is also great. In addition to that, what was really cool is that he is scaled well, so we're just going to keep using Lynx-O as the test dummy of scale. So he is a little bit shorter than Lynx-O, so he's in that right size, which is awesome. I like the attention to detail. It's very well done. So taking a look at his articulation, we've got the head's on a ball joint, moves all around, all kinds of cool stuff. Shoulders move out, they 360. He's got bicep swivel, an elbow that doesn't go too far because they don't want to break up the sculpt too much, I guess. Wrists that pivot, a torso joint that doesn't really move much at all. Like you have to really force it to get it to move. A waist joint moves a little bit, hips move out, forward, back, thigh swivel here. Knee joint, single knee, but 90 degrees, works for me. Ankles forward, back, a little bit left and right, nothing on the peg leg, but the peg leg still bends at the knee, which is pretty cool. And speaking of that peg leg, he still stands pretty good. I mean, he's going to be a little unstable because of the peg leg, but you don't necessarily need an additional stand for this guy. He will balance himself out pretty good, even if you bend the knee, and that's pretty awesome. It's just, yeah, like too much movement, he'll fall over, but you can see there, he's not too bad. Hands-wise, he has these open hands. He has a pair of fists, which are the first straight-up fists in the line. He's got kind of a more posed hand here and a gripping hand there, which is pretty cool. First things first would be his alternate head. It's a more neutral expression. I like the smiling, conniving pirate expression personally, but I like the choice. So he does come with the knife that he is seen with in the cartoon quite a bit, which is awesome. And said knife fits in the holster on his belt, and it does remove pretty easily, so it's pretty nice to keep it right there. He also comes with this wrench, which is different than Panthros, and it's a new mold, and he probably needs it because he's got a robot pirate crew. You can always probably use a wrench with a robot pirate crew. And like any good pirate, he has a cutlass, and this one is, you know, basically the one that the LJN toy came with. So again, mixing that toy and cartoon vibe together is pretty awesome. Now to go with him, he does come with two different versions of Polly. So here is the closed wings Polly, which you can see there. There's a peg in her foot, and you can put it on the shoulder right there. So then you say you got, you know, nice closed wing Polly. Or you can use the other version of Polly that's included. It's kind of cool, it's just two different ones, which this one has splayed out wings. One of the feathers is a little bent on mine. And then this one also pegs into his shoulder. So boom, there you go. More like an attack Polly, and then a standard Polly. So pretty cool. I like the options of the different Pollys to go on his shoulder, and I do appreciate the peg because that just makes everything better. Captain Cracker is pretty cool, and honestly one of my favorite figures of the line, which is impressive to say because a lot of these figures are really great. And he's just a very unique figure that stands out from the crowd, but also blends in with the world of Third Earth. Now we come to our final figure of Wave 3, Slithe. Now Slithe has the Mumm-Ra logo because he is a villain, but he in a big box. Yeah, this is a different size packaging than we've seen so far, and for good reason, because here is Slithe, leader of the mutants, looking just incredible. It's amazing how the packaging dimensions are very similar to another box, like, you know, here's like the Captain Cracker box. They're very similarly designed, but you can see that Slithe is just so much deeper in shape. You know, he still fits the style of the packaging, but he is gigantic in comparison. It's quite amazing, and I'm still not over it, even though I've had this figure for a few months now. He just looks incredible. I did rank him as one of the best figures of 2021, so yeah, definitely worth it. All right, so back on the back here, new artwork of Slithe, looking great. Slithe is the leader of the reptilian mutants from the planet Plundar. Once a field cook in the army of General Rotaro, Slithe cheated his way into power and followed the last of the Thunderians to Third Earth in the hope of capturing the Eye of Thundera for himself. Trapped and forced to serve the powerful Mumm-Ra, he continues to plague the Thundercats from his base in Castle Plundar. Pretty cool. Glad to see another mutant. Let's get Slithe cracked open because you guys are going to want to see this one. This is something special. All right, here is Slithe. And, oh my gosh, I'm still not over how great this figure is. So this is just, like, okay, first of all, look at his, like, he was packaged in the package with the tail folded just to make him fit better. But look at him. Oh my gosh, when you get an action figure that's this thick, this chunky, and he wasn't more expensive than the others. The rest of the figures in the wave are $45 a piece. He was still that price. He comes with a couple less accessories, but they didn't upcharge him because they were able to fit the budget, but like, he is impressive. And then on top of everything else, he's got this like incredible texture throughout the whole figure, so he's got this reptile feel to him. Kind of like the fur on Jackalman was really detailed. I'm just impressed. On top of that, it looks like they took the animation design, walked him off the screen, and he got that extra texture that he would have in real life, and I love that. It's fantastic. It really is. Now, scale-wise, if you put him next to Lynx-O, it does look a little shorter, naturally, because he's all hunched over and stuff. But more importantly, how does he look with what was my favorite figure of Wave 1? No surprise, Slithe is my favorite figure of Wave 3. Here's Jackalman. So you can see their scaling is also really well done. It's just what you would expect for this character in this line, and I love that. So yeah, let's take a look at his articulation, because, I mean, yeah, sure, he's detailed and sculpted, but can he pose? Actually, he really can. His head moves, left, right, ball jointed. It's actually a double barbell joint in there, so he's got all kinds of movement. You can even have him look left and right. Oh, that's amazing. Shoulders move out, they 360. He's got some really tight joints here. So you got that going. Elbows, swivel, wrist, swivel, in and out. The hips move forward, back, outward. He's got knees, he's got a swivel at the knee, he's got ankles, he's got a swivel at the ankle. He does have a waist joint up in there, which is amazing. And then his tail swivels left and right. So yeah, he can pose however you want him to pose. And that's awesome, because it's Slithe, and he's great like that. But what good is articulation without accessories? Haven't said that in a while. Let's see what he's got. So hands-wise, he's got these gripping hands and these open hands, which can still grip things. And just looking at the hands here, they're painted all the way on the inside, plus the fingernails. Really intricate stuff, and I love it. Plus, with these hands, even though they are painted on the inside, I haven't had any paint rub issues. So far, so good on that department, and that is awesome. So as you'd expect, he does come with the same weapon his LJN figure came with, which is this more natural wood sort of battle axe, which is awesome. He also comes with this more, what looks like a manufactured axe, which definitely adds to the overall aesthetic of the cartoon. And then he has the mace, which is my preferred weapon for him. I just think it fits Slithe's whole vibe. Amazingly enough, Slithe does have an alternate head than this one. This is his standard kind of default expression. But popping this off, you can see there just the big thick joint that is his neck. And you can pop the other one on, pretty easy, and boom, look at that. It's so expressive. It's so very Slithe in a lot of ways. I love the one eye open, the one kind of and then the mouth going roar. It's very Slithe, like when he talks, he would talk out of one side of his mouth, and I just love this attention to detail, and it's so good. I mean, this is just by far my favorite figure of the line so far, and yeah, I mean, I'm just so impressed. The two mutants so far, Slithe and Jackalman, are two of my favorite figures, period, like, of all toy history. I just love the way that they've been rendered and detailed, the way that the weapons and accessories work, and now these new heads are just so expressive. I really like it, and I'm really excited for Monkeyan and Vulture-Man and hopefully Rotaro and so many others. This is amazing stuff. Just excellent. So that does it for Wave 3. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, leave a comment down below and tell me which was your favorite figure of this wave, and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because next time we'll be looking at Thundercats Wave 4. Because yeah, we went 1, 3, 4, and then 2, and hopefully everything forward is just normal stuff. But stay tuned for that video coming very soon. Also be sure to check out other videos on the channel, and thank you to everyone that already does all that. You are awesome. Also check out my awesome website, HeroClub at hero-club.com, where we report on news and more, and my awesome graphic designer on Twitter at darkclaw643. And until next time, this is Soundout saying, Thundercats, ho!